Hey, gang, and welcome to another episode of Try Not to Curse. You guys, I get asked a lot of the time when someone finds out that I have a podcast, like 5 million other people around the country, what's your podcast about? And I have this like really roundabout, annoying answer. And I've come to realize, like, no, it really should just be like Liz's dumb questions, because that's what it is. It's an exploratory conversation about things I know nothing about. Cut to my guest today. My girl Vicky is here. Her daughter is going through some medical stuff. Y'all, we've heard it all already, right? So she's going to talk to us about POTS and her daughter's experience with that. The best way I can describe it, Vicky, is it's like a result. It's like long COVID. Is that the easiest, like the simplest dumbing down of?
I feel like it is. It used to be like no one used to say like, yes, it's because of COVID.
Yeah.
But as we're going on this journey, like a lot of her doctors, that's the first question they asked. When did she have COVID?
Yeah.
How long ago?
Like I mean, and we're going to break down what the acronym means, but was POTS ever like diagnosed in people prior to COVID that we know of?
Not that I've heard a couple people saying, oh yeah, I've heard of it. I think it's definitely more common now, especially in this younger like generation now. Yeah, mostly in females too.
Great guys,
yeah,
great.
Of course.
Well, because I know when you first had kind of go public with it that your daughter had that, I was like, oh, I've heard of POTS, like I've heard it mentioned here and there, and a couple articles, that kind of thing, but I was like, I really don't know anything about it. And then of course through my own healthcare journey with my iron infusions and stuff, you had seen me getting my infusions and you were kind of asking me about it because you said my daughter might have to go through that. I was like, holy shit, what is this POTS and what's the deal? So a little bit of background, guys. Vicky and I have known each other pretty much our whole lives. Like it goes back to like Pee-wee Little League soccer.
Yes.
You're a couple years older than me, but I mean, you're always active and in sports, and your kid's very much the same. You're a hairdresser now.
Yes.
You might have to come back and we should talk about that.
Absolutely.
Life as a hairdresser.
Yeah.
I also I was thinking about it on my way here, and I was like, I'm going to say that she's a hairdresser, but I feel like that's not like an accurate title anymore. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you guys do so much more than that.
Yes.
Like it's not just basic cuts. Like
no.
There's other things. Like even when I was talking with Haley, who you worked with, who does my hair, I asked her about X, Y, and Z, and she's like, oh, that I have to get a certification for, and I have to take a course, and I'm like, nobody understands any of that. So you're gonna come back and we're gonna get into
Absolutely,
that.
Yes.
But again, so right now we're talking about your dear daughter Quinn. So how long ago did she have COVID? And did the whole family have it at the same time?
Going back, of course, we probably all had it. I think we were more testing the kids all the time because you're so concerned about them and when they were allowed to go back to school, like if they sniffled. And we didn't want to be those parents that get the call from the school.
Right. Fair. Totally fair.
But so, yeah, she's had it probably a couple times, mostly in like 2021 probably.
Okay,
when
so like right at the height.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we really didn't think anything of it because they were right saying, oh, these kids, they don't suffer from it. And we kind of joked around too. Like we're like, oh, you can't hang out with people. And we did that for a while. But then you see the isolation.
Yeah.
And we kind of let the guards down. And I think my son got it first because he's a hockey player. So, in a locker room that's
filthy.
like, yeah, you might as
filthy.
well. Yeah, filthy. So he brought it in. And then, you quarantine one. But it's so hard because, I mean, we have a couple bathrooms. So one was like his, but they're still kind of in the hallway. And, we had the mask, but, and then it went through everybody.
Right.
They didn't really get sick at all. They a cold maybe. Ian and I, like my husband got it. We were like out for the count for a few days, but they kind of bounced back. And that was the first time she had it. And then the second time they had gone to an escape room. But this was probably, so where are we, 2025 now?
Mm-hmm.
So probably like 2023 when really like people were going back, hanging out. And
none of us learned our lesson.
no, of course not. Of course. I mean, you could tell someone to wash their hands as many times as you want. But I'm a face toucher. I'm constantly, and I think girls in general, because they're always getting their hair out of their face. But so they went on a double date and went to the escape room, and then she had gotten in again. Still nothing really bad, cold, stuffy, kind of like a sinus infection.
Sure.
So we never put like 2 and 2 together, because a few months later, she started complaining about her stomach. Like she was nauseous. She didn't feel good. So we kind of went through like a GI route.
Sure.
And so we started going to Yale because she was losing weight. And
she's already a small girl.
Yeah,
she's
a
slim.
peanut.
Yeah.
She's like just under 5 feet. She's, her healthy weight, sorry, Quinn, is like 114.
God bless.
But she's a soccer player.
Yeah.
She played varsity soccer her freshman year. So she's super active and muscular.
Yeah.
So for her to keep saying like, oh, my stomach, and my whole family I think most women have some kind of stomach issues. So we had gone to Yale Children's Hospital to figure out like maybe it's like IBS or Crohn's or something along that line. Yeah. So we were there for, oh gosh, what seems to be almost a year. Oof. And they started her on like medications. And as you know, one of the first, after months of it's still happening, I'm still nauseous, I don't feel good, was, oh, it's hormonal, or it's anxiety. Just so they recommended having us go to a GI psychologist. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And my daughter's telling me, she's like, Mom, like, I'm not nervous. Right. I don't have anxiety.
I'm not nervous. I'm not nuts.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's hard because as a parent, you listen, but also who doesn't have anxiety these days?
Right.
And especially as a teenage girl.
And also, these doctors went to medical school.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. I'm not a doctor. No. I have to trust what they're telling me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what we did and went down that route. And then we ended up in the hospital and they're like, oh, she's dehydrated. So they gave her a bag of fluids and sent us home. And then they had to, we had to rebook another GI therapist appointment. And she's like, belly breathe. And she gave these all meditation breathing techniques because they were telling her nausea is not a real symptom.
Great.
Yeah.
Sure,
and
it's not.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So they're like, that's your brain. And so they were thinking about therapies. We had 2 therapists going on. And finally, I'm like, okay, this isn't right. Like, she's not getting better.
Right.
She's losing weight still.
Right. You're all treating her like she's nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, you kind of, as you know, like we have kind of like a dark sense of humor. So we kind of poke fun at each other.
Yeah.
And so that we were just trying to make light of it, because if this is something she'll have to deal with, like anxiety, like she's going to have to get tough skin.
Yeah.
You're a freshman, you're a girl, like you need to figure it out. So finally, soccer had ended and it was January and she just stopped doing everything. She was losing weight. She was pale and she was about to start winter training for soccer because that's like her life.
Yeah,
she does
absolutely.
it all year.
Yeah.
And so we had talked to our pediatrician and they're like, maybe get a second opinion. We don't really, it's kind of like above us. We don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
She's not getting better. Medications aren't helping. So one night she was so miserable and crying and frustrated. And I ended up just driving her again to the hospital, but we went to Hartford, the Children's Hospital, CCMC. Yep. And we just sat there and they're like, this is, her heart rate's not going down. We think it's dehydration. They gave her fluids. and then told us, maybe talk to your pediatrician, stop playing sports, which was like heartbreaking.
Devastating, yeah.
So she had to stop doing everything. They're like, at this point, they weighed her, she was down to 93 pounds. And that's, nothing.
Yeah.
And then Yale was telling us, like, maybe, like, is it an eating disorder? And I'm I know. And this is someone who never even thought about it.
Right.
And she's fit, she's active.
Right.
She doesn't really.
Y'all are foodies. I've been to your house for parties and events.
Absolutely.
I know it. Yeah.
We try to be like, healthy, but listen, you never know who's coming over. We have Oreos,
and
Doritos.
again, that's sports life. You got to get the drive-through every so often. Girl, I know it.
I know. It's like our paycheck.
Right.
So we stopped all sports, and then we go to our pediatrician's office because their goal was to try to put weight back on her. We don't want her playing sports. She can't be losing more calories than she's gaining. So she didn't like that, obviously.
Sure.
So they gave her a nutrition plan. And they're like, I don't care what she eats, but she has to eat. They literally gave her 8 p.m. every night. She had to have ice cream. Okay. Which is like, who doesn't want that diet?
I mean, yeah.
Which I can't let her do that by herself.
Doctor's orders. Yeah, Doctor's orders. And that's right. You've got to be supportive.
Yeah, I'm her number one supporter. So I'm eating ice cream. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, why am I gaining? And she's not. Like, what is going on?
Right. It's scary.
So we finally go to our pediatrician, who is fantastic. We go to Canawood. I don't know if that's okay for me to say.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just to get cleared. Like, she's gained like 3 pounds. We are all excited. And her doctor, or her PA, who I love, she just goes, are you nervous? And Quinn was just sitting there on the table, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
She's like, your heart rate is at 135.
Jesus Christ.
That's her resting heart rate.
That's not cool.
No. So she's like, I think you have POTS. And that was the first time I heard that.
Okay.
So that was
after all that.
After all of that, it took our, local pediatrician just to be like, something's not right. And come to find out, Quinn just hearing, it's anxiety. She never would speak up about her other symptoms.
Okay.
So she was losing vision when she would get up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she would just be dizzy and shaky. And I'm like, but we were so focused on GI that we didn't even realize
and she probably assumed they were side effects of whatever was going on with her stomach. And yeah.
So
because hello gang, she's a kid. Like,
exactly.
She don't know. She
doesn't know. She's listening, and
she doesn't even listen to this podcast. How would she know?
Oh, she will. Trust me. She's like, what are you gonna say? I was like, everything embarrassing. Don't worry. But then, so her doctor's like, listen, I want her wearing her Apple Watch. Like, if it gets above 140, it's not good. You need to go. You have to call us right away.
Her heart's going to burst out of her chest.
Exactly. So she goes to school the next day. She's like, I really don't feel. She's texting me, which, yes, you're not supposed to have your phone, but let's be honest.
Please, it's 2025.
Exactly. Like, that's her lifeline.
Yeah.
So she's like, Mom, I really don't feel good. I'm like, all right. Like, did you do? And of course, I'm just like, did you belly breathe? Did you do all the stuff you're supposed to? And she's like, oh my God. So I'm like, well, what's your heart rate? She's like 164.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like,
okay,
you over 140. Like, how? Like, you're a smart girl. You're in honors classes. Right. How do you? 165 is over 140.
There should be like a setting on the watch where like one of those like goes off. Like, holy shit.
Yes, I called her doctor, and she's like, absolutely not. Go right to the hospital. She's like, don't go to New Milford. She needs a children's hospital.
Yeah.
So I pick her up, and she was so upset because it was like the school play the high school puts on, that like beautiful performance.
Yeah. Shit.
So she's like, I had tickets and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's fine. You already saw it. Yeah. Like, she's
girl,
like,
your heart's about to explode.
Exactly.
Like, holy fuck.
I'm like, I could care less
Please
about
take
like,
this seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone will record it. Something. It's fine. So then we drive to CCMC in Hartford, and we're there. And of course, anything with like a heart, they hook you up right away. So they hook her up. She's at 148. And so they're like, giving her like a liter of fluids, and they're like, okay, if it's dehydration, it should come down. We're there 4 hours. They give her another bag of fluid, and the ER doctor comes back. He's like, I can't send her home. He's like, she's been sitting or laying on this cot for, I don't know, 4 hours.
Right.
And her heart rate wouldn't go below 132.
Jesus.
So they admitted us for like 2 days, hooked her up, and then that's when we started getting answers. Like, because then the cardiologist comes and he's like, you know, they did the echo and all these to make sure like she wasn't going to have a heart attack. Because of course that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like as a mom, like your heart's not supposed to beat that fast.
Thank you. Sorry. No.
And then so we're there for like 2 days running all the tests, and that's what they're saying. I keep hearing this word like POTS. And they would say it, and I'm like, I don't know how to say that. Like, what does that mean?
Again, how many times, gang, do we have to go through this? We are not doctors. We are normal dum-dums off the street coming to you for answers. And just because y'all do this on a daily doesn't mean we know what you're talking about.
I really
break
think
it
they
down
do
for
that.
the idiots in the room.
Yes, I think they do that so they sound smarter than us. Because I had to write it down because I just call it POTS. But finally the doctor's like, okay, it's postural orthostatic tachycardic syndrome.
POTS is way better.
POTS is so much better. And basically it just means that when you stand up, your heart doesn't know the difference between if you're like sprinting a soccer field or if you just decide to change positions.
But but COVID's not real, and it wasn't a thing, and we were all just over exaggerating, and we were all but like did the doctors break down to you, or in any research that you've done, like how does it go from COVID, which to me was always seemed like it was just like mainly a respiratory thing, to affecting how your heart recognizes what you're doing? Like it's I know. Oh my God.
I think they're mostly now, because right now Quinn's like the 5th case at New Milford.
Okay.
And you do have those people who like don't believe in,
of course,
and COVID or what it does. And I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. Even I said that, but I'm like, oh, the kids weren't even that sick.
Right.
But now I'm seeing it this way.
Yeah.
That, I mean, she's an avid soccer player. She's social. She's active. She's really smart. She was in like honors and pre-AP classes as a freshman. And then with all this, she had to miss the whole rest of the school year because it causes brain fog and like muscle weakness. And there were days where she basically couldn't walk because it just attacks your whole nervous system.
Jesus.
So I have to say I was one of those people, but now I'm like, and that's why I ended up posting it on Facebook, because usually stuff, especially with like kids, you post the pictures and the good moments and like we call it like Facebook life, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not real.
Yeah. Social media.
Yeah, social media. Like we're like, everyone's fine, everyone's happy. But I was like, more so because I'm so sick of people, especially with females.
Yeah.
It's anxiety, it's hormonal.
The gaslighting is
it's
bananas.
awful.
Yeah.
It is awful.
Yeah.
And she's lucky that I, as a parent, was there for her. Like if it was me, I'd kind of brush it off. But when it's your kid, you like fight for them more.
Yeah.
Like if it was me, I'd be like, all right, give me a Xanax. It's anxiety. It's fine.
Right.
But like when it's your kid and she's like, no, something's wrong. I'm telling you something's wrong. You keep fighting.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I think that's why it gets more so now. People are hearing about it. But yeah, right now, I guess she's the 5th one at New Milford.
Well, and I'm sure all of those other cases were running into the same problem that you were. They were being misdiagnosed for so long prior to finally getting to the bottom of it. So, I predict. And again, I had heard the term from other articles that I had read. And again, they were kind of just chalked it up to long COVID. So when you had said she had that, I was like, oh shit, that sucks. Like, I know it's COVID related, blah, 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 but still really not any sense of what it does to her and what. So when you got that diagnosis, what did they say? Is there a real treatment for it, or are they just kind of grasping at straws, trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
basically it's a trial and error, and they're
'Cause
completely
it's so
honest
new.
with it.
Yeah.
It's not a one size fits all because
Right.
it's now considered autoimmune.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, her best friend has it too.
Oh, wow.
Is one of the 5, and her mom and I like talk all the time. Their symptoms are like different,
Okay.
and it's crazy
Yeah.
that one thing that works for Quinn is not working for her friend. And although I'm so grateful they have each other because her friend was out of school too. And the isolation, like I thought COVID, you felt isolated.
Right.
But life is going on for everybody else. And for Quinn, she goes to wake up in the morning, stand up, and she falls right back down.
Ugh.
So it's like everyone is just living their life and is fine. And then you have these kids that can't even function.
Yeah.
Luckily, so she's on now. It's sad. I feel like she's like a 90-year-old woman. I have a pill box, an AM and PM.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because just to keep everything
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah.
So she takes vitamin D, which most people really should take a vitamin
Yep.
D, especially.
I take it.
Yeah, people who live around here, like
Yeah.
right now, like
Yeah.
we get a couple months of sun. And then I actually wrote down her medications.
I love it. I appreciate
In no
it.
way am I a doctor
No,
whatsoever.
you guys, Vicky was so great ahead of time. She was like, I hope you don't mind I'm bringing notes, but because I want to get this right and I want to put the information. And that's what this podcast is all about. That's why I asked you to come on, because I feel like it's so important. Because again, like, until someone close to you experiences it, it's so easy to dismiss, right? So like I said, I had heard of POTS, but never really took the time to be like, okay, what actually is it? Because there's so much out there. It's like, if it doesn't directly affect me or someone I know. Meanwhile, cancer is the one thing that we can all agree on for some reason. Like, because we've all been touched by it some way or the other. But when it comes to these one-off, very rare, maybe not so rare now cases, it's like, oh, that's weird. Never heard of that. And then you just kind of move on with your day.
Exactly.
But that's why you're here. So go ahead and break down what she's got going on.
I know. This poor girl. So she's on, it's basically like a strong Pepcid.
Okay.
It's like a medicated one because acid like sits at like her stomach.
Yep.
And then she's on propranolol. I don't know. It's like a blood pressure medication.
Okay, Jesus.
That she's supposed to take 3 times a day. But in the summer, she takes twice because, let's be honest, these kids are waking up at like 10, 11. And you're supposed to like take it in the morning, afternoon, and night.
Right.
But she's not up in the morning.
Right. That's
so
fair.
right now we're doing it
for
2
her.
days.
Good for her. You sleep in. Go ahead.
Sleep in.
That's right.
And then she's on cyproheptadine, which is like an anti-inflammatory.
Okay. Yep.
It speeds up your metabolism. It's supposed to increase her appetite.
Okay.
And then she's on it's fluorocortisone. It's like a steroid, but it's basically because her kidneys don't know how to absorb right now.
Jesus.
And then, so she's on that twice a day, which actually we just got news can go down to once a day, which is phenomenal.
That's great.
But with this now, we go every week to Farmington for like saline infusions.
Okay, I was going to ask that because I was like, because every time, so again, Vicky and I were friends on social, everything. So every time I see her on Snap getting an infusion, I'm like, there's no way she's getting iron every week. Like, it's not, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically just liquid,
just
fluids. Liquid because they just don't know how, their bodies don't absorb it. Like we have water here. We could drink this and like be fine. But technically people with POTS have to drink 80 to 100 ounces of fluids a day.
Oh, Christ.
Which is like, I can't
That's
do
banana
that.
grams. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's like on the minimum.
Yeah.
Like they want these, and you're supposed to
and
add
she's
salt.
tiny. Like
she's tiny.
she's going to drown.
Like, I know. I'm like, I look at it. I'm like, someone like her is like, you might as well just drink my pool.
Right.
Like, you know?
Genuinely.
It's so bad. So we tried so many things first because they don't want you to have these, like stuff every week. But we tried doing it on our own. Like I would wake her up at like 3 a.m. and start electrolytes.
Oh, and I'm sure she loves that.
Oh yeah, she's miserable. I mean, she's a teenage girl. She's miserable all the time.
So when you say she's not absorbing, Quinn, I apologize. Is she just peeing it all out? No.
That's the thing.
It's just like
it just doesn't
leaving her body.
Yeah,
it's just exiting her through her pores and.
She can't regulate body temperature, so she could be
that
sweating
sucks,
it
too.
out.
Yeah.
So
Girl,
there
I
are
know what that's
times
like.
I know. So we have to it's basically you get it for sports too, the breakable ice for like injuries.
Yeah.
I carry it around because she could be like freezing and hot at the same time. So the back of her neck is sweating, but her feet are ice cold and she's shaking. And
Oh my gosh.
so yeah, like, or you could touch her feet. One foot is like hot to the touch. The other one is ice cold because blood doesn't circulate right.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like, and this is what I mean. Like, I think if people hung out with me for 48 hours, like when she was at her worst.
Yeah.
Because there are people who don't believe in it. Like,
of course. Yeah.
even I'm sure, like some of the schools, like, you know, it's like one more
Please,
reason.
don't even get me started on chronic illness, on disability. Holy shit.
Yes.
Holy shit.
It's unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to feel like crap all the time.
Right. But we're faking it, we're milking it, we're taking
Yeah.
advantage of, okay.
The schools have gotten better now because I think there's so many cases now. And honestly, I think this is the way it's going to be. Like, I think this is
so
going
too,
to be the new pandemic for these kids.
I think so
like,
too.
it didn't affect them during COVID, like illness-wise.
Yeah, directly.
But this is
right.
what they're finding.
The long term. Yeah.
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 So some of, like, her teachers were great because I think it helped that she was in all, like, the honors and, like, the pre-AP because they knew her at the beginning.
Yeah.
And she's a perfectionist. Like, she checks Power School every day. Like, if her grade falls below 92, she's like, nope. And which is, I don't know, she gets that from
Bless
Ian,
her.
not from me. So she, like, her teachers were willing to work with her, but there are some in the school that think it's a way that,
She's trying to get out of stuff.
Yeah, like it's one more way someone can skip and like, because it is considered like they can get like in-home tutoring.
Yeah.
Like we have notes from her cardiologist and her GI doctor.
Now, I'm going to ask a controversial question and it's going to be controversial regardless of how you answer it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because again, just like you said,
Yeah.
all of this stigma and bullshit and disbelief and all that. Were you guys vaccinated before?
It's so funny. We all were, yes. Yeah. And I am using this as an example, is I was crazy. Anyone who knows me that was,
I remember the
I'm
time.
like,
yeah.
I'm not leaving my house.
Yep,
like,
I recall.
I could not.
I think I was trying to get
line.
together with you for something.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you were like,
probably.
girl, appreciate you, but it's not happening.
Yeah, unless you're coming out and you're like, have like, the cups with the string back and forth. I probably would have like Lysoled that too. But I was first in line. My kids were first in line to get vaccinated. And I went back and forth. Like when we just started, I'm like, my husband and I were like, did we do this? Like, and to go down that rabbit hole is like, but then I talk about, I won't say her name, but her best friend who has it did not get vaccinated.
So it
doesn't matter.
It's just who you are.
I think it was honestly the strain of COVID that people got. So they're saying you can get POTS 2 different ways. A severe, like, blunt trauma to the head.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
which Quinn didn't have.
Right.
I would know.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Or a viral infection linking to COVID.
Wow. Okay.
And it happens about 6 months to a year after. And the timeline is like hands down.
That's unbelievable.
Like to a T.
That's unbelievable. But again, this is exactly why I wanted you on the show, because you're not only educating me, but also, again, as you know, like I've been going through my own health shit and seeing as an adult, a fully fledged adult, I'm a fucking taxpayer, I'm a homeowner.
Yeah.
Like to still see the stigma that's put upon me when I'm having a bad day or when I have to sit out of something, when I have to, when I have to excuse myself. And for a little kid to go through it, again, first she's got over a year of being poked and prodded and misdiagnosed and try this and try that. And it's in your fucking head. To then, it's this, but by the way, no one's ever heard of it, so we also think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't imagine. I can't, and again, like you said, going from a super social, super active lifestyle to just everything stops.
Yeah.
And one day to the next, you have no idea how you're going to feel, what your body's going to do, how you're going to react to different things.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And it's like, I feel bad for the people, like, not I feel bad for you, but like, who's fighting for you besides you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you do need a team of people to
Yeah.
be like, no,
And
you're going to keep going
Yeah.
until you find answers.
yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, I have a great team of doctors, and they all agree with, like, that's the crazy part too, is they're all behind me.
Mhm.
And then I'll go back to them and tell them the kind of bullshit, loopholes, red tape stuff that I have to deal with. And they're like, give me a break. Like, really?
Yeah.
And they're like, but we told them, it's in your chart. We've written letters.
Yeah.
So they don't get, because it's, it's just, I just don't want to work today. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And like,
By the way, if I don't go to work, guys, I can't pay my bills. Like, it's
nobody
so it's not
wants to, like,
it's not like, it's not really benefiting me
No.
to leave early or to call out. But nope, it's just me having a fun time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what
Yeah.
I tell people. Like, when we had trouble with like trying to get, because we had to put her on emergency 504 for school.
Jesus, yeah.
Because basically she went from going every day to she can't even go any
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And then so to try to do that, even, it was just a mess because you have people, because they don't see it. Because if I post a picture of her, she doesn't look sick.
Right.
Like, I mean,
Right.
she looks pale, not really anymore, because, she's luckily out of her flare. People
Yeah.
have flares with this.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So she's coming down from her flare. So she doesn't look sick. So if someone were past her and they'd be like, oh, well, she looks fine. Why,
Right.
why? But I always say, I almost wish, and I would never really do this to her, but when she was at her worst, like, if someone saw that, in no way would anyone question you. Like,
Sure.
even
Right.
yourself. Like,
Right.
when you need a
100%.
day.
Yeah.
Like, if someone really saw you,
Yeah.
no one wants to feel like that.
Yeah. No, I had an episode at work a couple weeks ago, and I flat out said, I'm like, listen, I'm either going to puke or pass out.
Yep.
So don't want to do that here. I need to go. But it's just like you said, it's like, why does it have to get to that extreme?
Exactly.
Why do I have to reach that point for you to take me seriously? And quite frankly, even then they didn't.
No.
So,
Even then, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, well,
Ex-
she's probably
yeah,
just what?
exactly.
Wants to be home?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
100%.
we all want to be home, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we have bills. Like,
Well,
I
and
mean,
also when I'm home, I'm not having a good time.
no.
I went straight home and I passed out for
Yeah.
3 hours. Like, yeah.
No
Just
one-
living
yeah.
it up over here.
I
Like, it's a
know.
wild time.
I've only seen Ian get upset like a couple times. I mean, we've been together since we've been like 17.
Yeah.
And I think I can count on one hand the times I've actually seen him like upset, like, cry or eyes tearing. And one was Quinn she was having a hard time. She felt super isolated. So she had plans, like one of her friends had a birthday party.
Mm.
And she's like, I really want to go. It's just for a couple hours. And I think she made it maybe 45 minutes, which was fine. Like,
Yeah.
sounds, the temperature was hot, there's people, whatever. So he picks her up, and then she's crying, she's like shaking, she's sweating. So Ian's like, what do we do? And I'm like, we got to put her in a cold bath. Like, we have to cool her body temperature down. Her
Yeah.
heart rate's through the roof.
Oh my gosh.
So he's physically has to carry her up the stairs to me. And I mean, like, I'm filling up the bath. Like, I'm putting, I think, like, bubbles, like salt, like whatever,
Yeah.
And he, like, hands her over to me. And I'm, like, physically undressing her, like, taking her clothes off and, like, pick her up and put her in the tub.
like she's a baby. Yeah.
Like a baby.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously he's outside, like, because,
Right.
who wants your dad in
Privacy.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
fair.
privacy. But he just you feel useless. 'Cause
Yeah.
he can't do
And
anything.
helpless.
And helpless.
Right.
And I'm like, if someone saw that, there's nobody would question
Yeah.
it. Like, why does it have to be that way?
Right. Why do we need a Lifetime movie for people to take this
Yeah.
seriously? Because that's all I'm picturing. I'm picturing like one of those,
Oh, yeah.
Friday evening documentary movie type thing about, this, she fought alone,
Oh,
some
yeah,
kind of thing like
exactly.
that,
But I'm like, what is it going to take for people to take autoimmune? And I don't know.
Ugh.
Like,
Yeah.
you see these people and it's like, they want you to physically look sick to.
That is it. Well, I mean, the hardest thing. So I've talked with Abby about this a lot because now I get a medical badge every time I go to any of the Comic-Cons, and it gets me into a speedier line. That's all it does. There's no other perk to it. I just get to the front of the line. But if the celebrity shows up late or something, I'm still waiting for the same amount of time as everybody else. Like, it's not like it's just a quick in and out. Sometimes it is. I'm fortunate, but. It's true. I tell her all the time, I always feel so guilty utilizing it because I don't. The one time I used it and I was okay was I had a broken ankle. So I was in a boot.
Oh, yeah.
So people could people could visibly see me struggling to move around and, do you need a seat, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to go in looking like this in a couple months and everybody's going to give me a side eye and have a problem with me. And I'm going to feel uncomfortable the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It's like, you're supposed to look pale that day.
Well, the funny thing is people in wheelchairs and the mobility scooters and stuff, they go there too. Well, guess what? They're treated like shit. Nobody clears the way for them. They're fighting through thousands of people. It's you're damned if you do.
Oh yeah.
So, it's almost kind of something that I have to get over myself, but I just wish there was more understanding out there. And again, why I've invited you on the show, hopefully, not that, listen, all of my listeners are great people. None of you guys are assholes. I don't think you'd be listening if you were. So I know none of you have this problem, but hopefully at least you can be a supportive shoulder for somebody else
that's going at this point.
and pass this shit on to other people and say, oh, I heard about X, Y, and Z. Like, oh, that's crazy. I know what you're going through, blah, blah, blah. Like, just some basic understanding.
Humanity.
Right. Thank you. Empathy. Wow.
Just be
wild.
Nice.
Wild.
That's what we said. Someone, they called me after they saw my Facebook post. Yeah. And that's why I did it. It wasn't for attention. It was to get the
just
word
education.
out.
Yeah.
Education.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you mind if I give my friend your number? They're like, her daughter is going through this and they had given her strong anti-anxiety meds. And she's like, nothing's helping. I'm like, give her my number, but in no way, don't take medical advice from me. But I can,
I do appreciate that.
You want to know what color hair you should have? Yes, I got you. But if you're asking me about your heart or whatever, I am not your girl.
I can just refer you to doctors and wish you the best. Yeah.
So I talked to her and she's like, thank you so much. And sure enough, so she started, there's a specialist. His name is Dr. Warsey. He works out of CCMC. We saw him in Farmington. So he either works out of Farmington or Westport. And we got in fast because Quinn, when she was at her worst, she was so skinny. And so they had to speed it along. And otherwise, she would probably, oh God, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
But so she made an appointment with them and she called me back. She's like, we can't see him till October. And we were told they had to freeze. They put a freeze on him because they are so overwhelmed with people right now from this going on. Yeah. And so when we saw him the next time, he's like, I'm trying to train people in this. He's like, but we have no time because all day, this is what he's doing. Yeah. It's POTS. And she also has mast cell activation syndrome, which kind of go hand in hand. So she has that, her renin levels are through the roof and then they drop down. That's her kidney stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they just, so I think the more and more, not that you want more and more people to be affected, but what's it going to take for people to start taking?
What's the number?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There has to be until, I don't even know. Cause when finally I was talking to one of my friends, she works at the school. She's phenomenal, but she was saying after, I think it was spring break, she told me, is superintendents had a meeting about it because they're seeing it all over districts now.
Sure, of course.
And no one knows how to support these kids.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, you're going to find those kids that don't want to be in school regardless, whether they're sick or not.
Of course.
I mean, I skip, whatever.
Listen, you need a mental health day regardless. Yes. It's fine.
But these kids, don't want to be out of school that much because it's not just out of school. Quinn was laying in bed a whole day, 12 hours, and she'd get up, feel sick. I'd force her to drink, and then she'd go back to bed, and it was like ridiculous. And or we were at physical therapy because she couldn't balance right. She almost basically like couldn't walk in a straight line.
Yeah.
She looks like a drunk, just like, you know, when they do the testing on the line.
Yeah.
That's what even now, sometimes if like she's
just her equilibrium is just off.
Completely off.
Yeah.
So it just, it gets me so mad with this though. It's
100%. Because like you said, you all you can do is advocate.
Yeah.
But you can't change people's minds. No. You can't change people's opinions. You can't get them to listen to you.
No. It's such an endless struggle. But I do think, and with the more it affects, you know, I feel like kids and animals, when it affects kids or animals, like people like pay attention more.
Yeah.
And if this is what it's going to be, then hopefully they have a better plan, and maybe people take autoimmune seriously.
How has her mental health been since going through? I mean, again, you know, they start off telling her she's got anxiety, telling her she's nervous, and then clearly this process has not been helpful for her mental health, has not made things better for her.
It was, although afterwards, like when we finally got the diagnosis, she almost felt like validated. She's
100%.
Like, I told you. Like 100%. I told you I wasn't crazy. I'm like, okay, well, I never said you were crazy. But
well, because then it goes from what the hell is this to, okay, now what do we do? Like, we know what it is. Let's make a plan. Let's get through it.
And it was nice because nausea is a real symptom, and it's a real symptom of this. And it's her blood doesn't flow right, so it sits on top of her stomach, and that's causing the nausea.
Wow.
So it's like, nausea is a real symptom. It's not always a form of anxiety and you're nervous or depressed. Or
you can't shit right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, leave them alone. Like, who's to say, like, if like you felt some way, I can't tell you don't feel that way because I don't know.
Right.
Like, but so she was validated, and then the isolation is hard. So, but now, like, knock on wood, she got cleared for soccer. She's training. One of the things she loves, her and one of her friends have like a little business where they train like the little girls, like the younger girls, for soccer.
Yeah.
So she's able to do that again.
That's good.
And Ian and I were talking about it the other day where I'm like, I didn't realize how bad she was until like looking at her thriving right now. I didn't realize like how bad of a place she was.
Yeah.
Because and we never say no. Like if she wants friends over, we're always like, yeah. So the 4th of July, she had people over. Now Saturday, she has like a really good friend group.
Yeah.
So they'll come over, and when they came over for like the 4th of July, like hearing her laugh, I'm like, I don't remember, like,
wow.
I don't think we heard her laugh in a while, like a real laugh, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, so now she's because she's being able to socialize.
Right.
And we're hoping, because, I mean, you know, with your stuff, like, it's only a matter of time before the flare kind of comes back.
100%. And you never know day to day. Yeah. No. That's the worst
part. They said
part.
for, like, people, like, with POTS or mast cell, it's when you stop. So the worst thing she did was stop playing soccer because your muscles just kind of, like, freeze up.
Sure. Yeah.
So now we know, like, to try to keep going with
Stay
something.
Active. Yeah.
Whether it be, you know, going to one of the gyms or just doing something.
Yeah, just
because
being physical.
Like, soccer is her life. And I think when you took away that too, because like her friend group are all soccer players.
Sure.
So it's like she was alone.
Yeah.
So now that she has that back, and I'm trying to like almost me and my notes, but like take notes if I see like, okay, like that seemed she had a good day that day. Like what did we make for dinner?
Yeah, it's
or
good
like,
it's good to establish a pattern.
Yeah,
but absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't. If it hits, it hits.
I know.
But I'm hoping like the infusions weekly. I actually just called to see if we could transfer it over to New Milford because I don't want to drive to Farmington.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even Danbury, that's where I go for my iron and stuff. They might be able to do it there. Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know, when she's back at school, I don't like, she missed so much school, and like we just got her schedule. These kids are so resilient. They found their schedules like through this, I don't know, you know, like they're smart with
figured
technology.
it out, right?
So like her schoolwork like is going to be hard again. And so we're trying, I'm like, I can't pull her out of school I mean, I could, listen, like I'll do what I have to, but it's gonna, because so every Friday, like we were at Farmington today for her infusion, and I don't know like how you feel after a bit. I call it like liquid courage. Like for the next like 24 hours, you feel good. Like you're like,
well, my numbers were so low. My ferritin count was so low that after the first infusion, I really didn't feel any different at all.
Okay.
But the second one I had a week later, and I wouldn't say immediately, but I definitely like, as I just kind of things I just maintained. You know what I mean? And now like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, like I can do the things that maybe I'd be sitting down for before, or I would just be, it was really extreme fatigue for me.
Yeah.
And that's gotten a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
I have other things going on that are so I'm going through allergy treatments as well. And one of like, they've basically eradicated all of my normal allergy symptoms, but the only thing I do have is fatigue, especially when the pollen count is high and all that shit. So I actually went back earlier than planned to check my blood work again, just to make sure, like, do I need more infusions? Am I maintaining? Thankfully, my numbers are all good. So far that's been okay. But when you have multiple things going on, you have to rule out everything.
We always say like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Right. You're like, well, I'm feeling better on this, but this is still there. But is it like this medication that's helping? And that's what someone asked. They're like, oh, Quinn looks really good. I'm like, yeah, she's feeling great right now. But like, is it the medication? Is it the infusion? Is that her flare going down? So I'm like, don't change anything.
Well, and Lord knows I was that person too, especially prior to my surgery, because, my eating habits weren't great. I certainly wasn't eating a balanced, nutritious meal all the time. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll take this supplement. I'll take that supplement, blah, blah, blah. Then I had to stop taking all of it for 2 weeks prior to the surgery. And I noticed absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, I don't need any of that. But then, of course, because I've had the surgery, I now am permanent. I have to, I have to take calcium. I have to take vitamin D. I have to take a multivitamin for the rest of my life, which is fine, whatever. But it's really interesting, like, I don't know if a lot of it's mental, you know what I mean? Like that placebo effect. Like I'm assuming because I'm taking it, it's doing its job. And that's usually not the case.
I know. Now, can they put that in the infusion too? Like those extra things, or you don't know?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's never been brought up, but it was really, I was anemic prior to, I was diagnosed anemic when I was 12. So I've been taking iron every day of my life since then. Just after the surgery, it's just the same thing. I'm not absorbing anymore. And then again, that's also triggered the hypoglycemia, for the same thing. So you mentioned Quinn's friends and that she's got a really good group, but like, how was it for her initially, like trying to like explain to her friends what's going on, explain why she can't be a part of things? Did she have any conflict there, or were they just really supportive?
It's like I think she isolated herself a lot too.
Well, because I'm sure she was feeling kind of embarrassed.
Yeah, because at that point, like, it's like I think it's hard because she doesn't look sick, but she didn't really. A lot of people prior, like, obviously I'll be sending this to like everybody, but I think it will be funny because I'll be like, oh, I didn't realize that's what you have, Quinn, because she's so and she just doesn't want people to, it's just like embarrassing, you know?
Sure.
Like,
well, because you also, that doesn't define who you are as a person.
No. Like she didn't want to tell, because they started their captain's practice for soccer. And she's like, I don't want to tell the coach. And because she doesn't want it to affect like, like her playtime and stuff like that. I'm like, well, you kind of have to, because if you pass out on the field, like
that's affecting your playtime.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can tell her, be like, if it happens, it's okay. Like, now that we know, like she's not having a heart attack, that she'll come to. But yeah, I'm like, it's just give people a heads up. So the first time she hung out with someone, her friend, and he's so funny, Aiden, but I was like, Aiden, if she falls, like, you have to be ready to catch her. And he like looks at me. He's like, Miss Vicky. I'm like, no, I'm being serious. Just, walk behind her.
Very close to her.
Like, just don't let her hit her head. That's it. Yeah. Or I was able to get her back to school, like, I think for like one class one day, and she needs the elevator key. She's like, Mom, I'm not taking the elevator. I was like, well, like you cannot do stairs. Like
Yeah.
it's in your medical records now.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
can't do stairs. Now she can. But she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you take the elevator.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
she's like, well, what? I'm not allowed someone on the elevator. I'm like, Quinn, yes, you are. Like,
Yeah.
that's
you need
the
someone
whole point.
there.
Like,
yeah.
if you go down.
Yeah.
So she's like, who do I ask? I'm like, ask Hannah. Ask one of your friends that like you're not going to be embarrassed if
Sure.
we all have that friend. You could do anything.
Yeah,
right.
right,
Like you go to
right.
the bathroom with them.
Right.
You whatever.
Yeah.
Like they know your deepest secrets.
Yeah.
That's who you take because if you fall and something embarrassing happens, you're fine.
Yeah.
So like she had, and then when she went back a couple days here and there, she did have to tell people, but she kind of isolated herself a
Yeah.
little bit because she was
And
embarrassed.
again, that's fair.
age,
You know,
too.
that's totally fair. Like again, and unless you know, I think I remember a story about a woman who's like prone to seizures. So like when she walks around alone, like she would have a seizure like on the subway and she
Oh,
just
wow.
has like a note in her pocket and she just holds it out like,
Yeah.
hey, just keep an eye on me until the seizure passes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's nothing you can do.
No.
And
Because you
you
know
know.
when like something like that's gonna happen.
yeah,
you
for
know?
the most
like,
part. Yeah.
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 Like you can kind of feel like, I don't know, that ringing almost in your
Mhm.
ear.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well,
or-
I mean, yeah, same thing for me. Like I can tell when a flare up's coming. I know what triggers it now.
Yeah.
And I do kind of try to give people a heads up, like, hey, like I might have to sit this one out, or I might have
Yep.
to leave early because just conditions are not great right
Yeah.
now. Like same thing in the beginning, trying to understand what was going on, why all of a sudden, and exactly what it was, and how to deal with it. That took a lot,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, this for me is now going to be a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
Which again, much like her, I mean, I hope that they come up with some medication, some kind of
Yeah.
cocktail rather than just, hey, try this med and try that med
Yeah.
and hope that this stuff helps with you. But like you said, if everybody has different symptoms
Yeah.
and everybody reacts differently to it, it's going to be a shot
Yeah.
in the dark for a while.
I know. And they said she could wake up one day and have it be completely dormant. Like,
Well, here's hoping.
Yeah,
That would be
but
great. But
listen.
yeah, I know. Well, and
With-
please, if you've been listening to any of these episodes on the pod, you know that's not likely,
no.
unfortunately.
And that's, you just learn
Yeah.
to live with it. Like,
Exactly.
one
yeah.
of the medication, I think it's like Midodrine. It's another blood pressure.
Yeah.
And they tell you like, oh, it's rare, these side effects. And of course, like, I feel like my family always is that like, oh, what's 1%? Oh, you're going to
That's
get
us.
it.
That's us, yeah.
We're that 1%.
Yeah.
And she had it where she felt like there were spiders crawling on her scalp and like in
Oh,
her body.
Yuck.
And
Ooh.
so we had to call and he's like, no, just stop it. We'll like
I'm
switch
getting
her.
the chills
I
on
know.
that.
Like,
Oh my
could you imagine?
gosh.
Like,
no.
first of all, if a bug is crawling on me,
100%.
yeah. And then imagine like that in your head.
No.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
It like makes
I'm
me
saying.
cringe now.
Well, since you brought up the 1%, your 1% family member, I did also, and I've asked you prior to this, your mother unfortunately passed away. She had
Yes.
breast cancer.
Colon.
Oh, colon cancer. I'm
Colon.
sorry. She had colon cancer. And when she went to go start the treatment, the chemo treatment, unbeknownst, she unfortunately did not realize she had a deficiency
Yes.
that essentially
killed her.
killed her.
Yeah.
And like, so basically the chemo was like toxic for
Yes,
her, essentially.
yes.
And I remember when you shared that, it's always been in the back of my mind because as I've mentioned on the show, cancer runs through my family. A number of my family members have had it. Some have passed away from it. So you guys, just wanted to put that out there for listeners as well. If you are diagnosed, I would assume with any type of cancer, anything that would require chemo treatment.
Any cancer that requires the 5-FU chemo.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
it's like a really strong chemo.
Gang, grab a piece of paper and a pen. So if you have the 5-FU,
Literally FU.
FU chemo treatment, you want to get checked for DPD deficiency tests
Yes.
prior to starting those treatments to see
Simple
if
blood test.
a simple blood test would have made all the difference.
Yes. I mean, looking back, would it have? I mean, at the end of
Yeah,
the day,
you never
I
know,
mean, she
right.
was, it was her first colonoscopy. I think she was 52, super young. But you just never know, right?
Well, and
Like,
again, it's so okay.
end
So
of
you
the
find
day-
you find out she can't have that treatment. So then what are her options? That's very limiting as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things.
It's always going to be the what if
I mean,
factor.
she still had it was
Yeah.
not a good
Not a good
outcome
situation.
anyways.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
looking back, yeah, you change it up. You probably look down that immunotherapy route or but basically if you have this deficiency, her first round of chemo, it basically kills you from the inside out. It doesn't know how to stop attacking. Okay. So it attacks everything inside your body.
Wow.
So like a week after, like she was in the hospital and she never came out. Oh. But you look at it two ways. Obviously, as we're getting older, you never want anyone to suffer.
Sure.
But then you look like, oh, like, should we have done something different? But you just don't go down that route.
But again, it's not. And what's interesting to me is I would feel like, granted, it's rare, but if I am a cancer doctor,
yes,
why wouldn't that be the first thing? Like, hey, before we start you on this specific treatment, let's take this one little blood test. Yeah. I mean, I know
people would pay for that out of pocket too.
Well, and frankly, we have to do that. Like, it's wild to me that like insurance doesn't make you do that because they make you do everything else for everything else. You know, depending on what plan you have, depending on your history, blah, blah, blah. Like, again, I know someone else who's going through the bariatric surgery process. Mm-hmm. And because of their specific type of insurance, they had to do all types of things I did not have to do. So they're telling me like, oh, I had to see this doctor and that doctor and have this test and have that. And I'm like, why? Fuck, why? But again, I go to the doctor regularly. So I think they saw that I have this history, that I do all my physicals. Yep. It's not like I haven't been seeing a doctor in 10 years. So I think that also plays a part in it too. But again, when this is old hat, and I do this every day for a living, and I know for a fact that this issue is out there. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's do a simple blood test.
Let's just add it in. Like it comes from the same vial, probably.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Right. So when you first, unfortunately had to share that, I was really struck by that because I'd never in my life had heard that is a possibility. Yeah. But yet, as we said, so many people are touched by cancer.
Yeah.
That I've got to imagine your mom's not the first, not going to be the last.
No, absolutely not. I think when we did it too, because once they figured it out, it was too late. But they do have like an antidote that I think it's like $100,000.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, so
great.
We like fought for it.
And insurance is certainly going to cover that. Yeah,
yeah. So we're like, no, you do this is your mess up. You 100%, get it here.
100%.
So they like flew it in, and it's like no one knew how to use it.
Oh my God!
And because it's like
so rare.
Yeah. So check the blood. Like, you go back and like you play that game, like, but at the end of the day, but I tell people too, like if I ever hear someone like, they, got diagnosed with colon cancer, I'm like, check for DPD. Blood test. Yeah.
Well, again, this is why, this is my, like, I want everyone to walk away from these episodes with some knowledge, with some information, because again, even if none of this affects you directly, you're going to hear it and you're going to say, oh shit, there's a blood test.
Yeah.
Like make sure they ask that, they do that. And
even if it's not the chemo they're using, like maybe it will like, oh yeah, no. Yeah. Even
just
the
double
doctor,
check. Just double check.
We're all human. Doctors are humans. Like they make mistakes and
sure do.
Maybe just hearing.
Well, and also, and I think I mentioned this when talking with Caitlin too. The problem is doctors are only doctors for specific things.
Correct.
Yep. They can only go within their own field and with what they've seen and experienced themselves. If a unicorn walks in the door at a vet's office, the vet's going to say, I have to treat you like a horse because I don't know anything else.
Yeah. That's a great analogy.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's and gang, as much as we don't like to talk about it because we all want to be normal, we are all individual snowflakes. Yep. We are all unique. Our makeup is completely different from one another. Yes, we bleed the same red blood. Yes, we have, we get sunburn and we lose our hair and all this other. But the one commonality is that we are all extremely unique.
Absolutely.
In inside, in the DNA.
Exactly. It's good to have like a comment. Like I go to my mom's doctor. So now I go for colonoscopies. My sister,
so do I.
And thank God, she's good. And cause She's who I have left. She's like my mom, you know, now. Like I call her, I'm like, Katina.
I know what you mean.
Like, oh God.
Yeah.
The older sister you feel bad for sometimes.
Well, you know, again, for me, you know, alcoholism runs in my family. So like my whole life, I knew that. I knew it was a yes.
Yeah.
Again, you know, Caitlin and I talked about it. We're the only kids on earth that the DARE program really affect. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I took that because Officer Woods, man, did the job, son. But yeah, so like I didn't have my first alcoholic drink until the summer of my 20s. You know what I mean? Like, and even then it was one of those like, oh, all right, I know I'm drunk. I'm done. Yeah. Like I'm stopping.
Yeah.
Because it's always in the back of my mind. And then same thing. So I knew we had this history, you know, my aunt passed away from breast cancer. Another aunt passed away from colon. Another aunt passed away from pancreatic. My grandmother's had breast cancer now for the second time.
Oh, wow.
My mother had thyroid cancer. My father had throat cancer. His was from smoking, but still also why I stayed away from cigarettes my whole life. But I knew this was there.
Yep.
So one of my radio shows, a gal, same thing. She has a history and she had started talking about hereditary testing.
Yep.
And she said, just go look into it because then they can go to your insurance and say, hey, she actually needs a mammogram every 6 months or she needs a colonoscopy every 6 months, whatever. So thankfully through that, I was able to do that, especially because, you know, my mom was adopted. So we never really knew a lot of information on either side. Now we have that connection with my grandmother, with her maternal mother. So at least we know that side of it, but we know nothing about my grandfather's side and all of that. So
you're basically starting from scratch.
Essentially, essentially. I mean, you know, thankfully we have like ancestry that's connected us to people and stuff, but you don't from your foundation.
Yeah.
You need to know that history. So anyone who knows they've got something or suspects potentially or doesn't know at all, look into getting hereditary testing done. And they'll, you know, get some idea.
Fighting for it.
And go to the fucking doctor regularly, gang.
No, but everyone's like, oh, the colonoscopy. I'm like, dude, nobody wants to do it.
Well,
like,
it cracks me up. I have so many.
Best nap you will ever take in your life.
It's true. It is true.
I will go purely for that rest.
Well, you know, it cracks me up. I've had so many people over the years say to me like, well, every time I go, they find something. Yeah.
Could you imagine if you didn't go?
Right. Granted, listen, I'm going through that right now. We're finding a whole lot of shit. And I'm still going to, every single one of my days off has a doctor's appointment with it. But
could you imagine if
but
you
I
didn't
know
do
it's
that?
important. Right.
Like I know if you started worrying about it 5 years from now, where would you be?
I'd be fucked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I go every year and a half for a colonoscopy now because I have polyps. Yeah. And every year they'll take out
I had polyps too.
Yeah, they'll take out like 4 and 2 will come back precancerous.
Well, and again, you know, especially women with our weight, if we're too fat or we're too skinny, what have you. But since being large my entire life, I was walking around on a torn meniscus for a full year.
Didn't know?
Because I just chalked, I fucking knew I had something. But I just chalked it up to, it's my weight catching up with me. Mm-hmm. I already know I've got arthritis. I've got, you know, it's now I'm just having knee problems.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until finally, you know, and I had been going to a chiropractor. We were trying to treat it naturally. And it wasn't until I finally went to an ortho, got an MRI. Yep, torn meniscus. No, you can't fix it naturally. It's got to be operated on. But again, because we just are gaslit our whole lives, like you wouldn't have any of these problems if you weren't fat.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? That's what you get. That's what we're told that in a professional, nice manner.
Yeah.
But that's the bottom line. You wouldn't have any of these issues if you weren't fat. So, you know, I got to a point at one point where I really got into it with somebody and I said, listen, yes, I did a lot of damage to myself, but the damage has now been done.
Yeah.
And I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
That's why I got the bariatric surgery, because shit was only getting worse as I was getting older. But, you know, everybody just wants to look at you like, you're lazy, you don't care, you'd rather sit around and stuff your face with donuts. By the way, I fucking hate donuts. But like, it's that stigma that society has put upon and that we internalize and then project to one another. So it's, if anything, can this podcast please start, you know, to build up some understanding for our fellow man?
All the time. And then I look at Quinn, who is a runner, a soccer player, as fit as can be, and going through this healthy, like this health stuff. And I'm like, does it really matter? Like, you know, yes, all those things play, like, do I feel better when I'm lighter? Absolutely. But like,
listen, at the end of the day, we are all fucked. Okay. It doesn't matter. I say this, my stepfather is very granola. He's very organic, non-GMO, non-pesticide. This is going to kill you. That's going to kill you. Da, da, da. I'll say it. I'm gonna shout it to the rooftops until the day I die. Watch Dark Waters with Mark Ruffalo and find out what Dow Chemical has done to the entire world. It's in us, gang. We have an entire credit card's worth of microplastics in our fucking brains. Like, the damage been done.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead and have that Snickers bar if that's what you need to fucking get through the end of the day. Like, I'm not in a place to judge anymore. I can't do it.
What did they say? It's like, don't take life too seriously. Nobody gets out alive.
Like 100%.
Like, I don't want to live till I'm 120
and be miserable. And be miserable.
No, I can go out at like 90 if I'm having like ice cream every night. I don't give a shit. Like,
my uncle's father lived to, I want to say 102, drank Wild Turkey 101 every day, smoked a cigar, drove his car, lived independently all through up to 102. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. It's just, again, it's our foundation. It's our genetic makeup. It's the luck of the draw.
I do think like this, like my kid, like Quinn is 15, Colin's 13, and both of them are super active.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Colin is like, he could be on the the ice 24 hours a day if he could.
Yeah.
But I do.
And he's got the energy. Shit.
Oh my God. But I do think this generation is a little bit healthier as far as like, they wouldn't even think
they're more
about
thoughtful.
smoking.
They're more thoughtful.
Yes.
Well, and because again, it boils down to education too. They have been shown the effects.
Yes.
They have been shown, make better choices. Like, you can still fuck around, but you're going to find out. We have already found out. Learn from our mistakes, and thankfully, it seems as though they have.
Yes.
Thankfully,
like,
for the most part.
I remember like 15 and high school, like people going to like the fire pit parties and like these kids are like
putting vodka in their Camel backpacks. I know all about
like,
that.
Smoking.
Not me. I did not. I did not.
I did.
Officer Woods, I did not.
Officer Woods, I did. I'm sorry, but I did love your class.
You were wild. I love you.
But like these kids, like Colin would never put anything in his lungs.
Yeah.
Like, I could see him drinking. Colin's definitely like the hold my beer type kid, like already, which is fine. Most of the hockey players are a little crazy.
Yeah.
But that's it. But I remember like smoking cigarettes and like I forget, I said something to Quinn. She's like, ugh. Like, and it made me happy. I'm like, good for you, girl.
Have that attitude.
Although,
100%.
listen, you have enough to worry about.
Please.
Like, could you imagine?
Again,
that's a nice thing. Like, she's not allowed, the doctors tell her to, like, alcohol will trigger a flare in people with POTS.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
well,
keep telling her.
No, tough break, kid. Yeah.
Darn. But, oh, man. It's so funny, though.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely... I don't know.
Yeah. No, it is. It's wild. It's really wild. But again, you take the good, you take the bad. Everybody talks about screen time and socialization and mental health.
It's the way of the world now.
It is. Like, you can't get rid of it. You can't escape it.
I go down that brain rot too, though.
Oh, 100%.
At night.
It's because it's become a comfort thing, right? Yeah. The world is on fire. So we're going to do what we need to do to try and zone out for 30 seconds and forget that everything sucks and that we can't afford shit and we're not going to be able to retire, that we're going to die in our jobs because no one can take care of us. We can't afford to take care of ourselves. Please. Please, gang, do whatever the fuck makes you happy. Like, honestly. I am so not at a, like, and I've said that on the show too, like I'll have a moment of like, I'll give somebody like a side eye, whatever. But then immediately my brain is like, if that makes them happy.
Exactly.
I
like try not to.
I just don't have the time anymore. I don't have the time.
No. And who am I to judge anybody, right?
I'm saying.
I laugh at that too, because I'm like, who am I judging, right? Like, they're probably looking at me like, dude, you're here at the infusion center again with your daughter? Like, what'd you do to her,
Right.
But
oh my God.
I forget what we were talking about. Oh, I think I was every week, right? Every Sunday night. Monday is gonna be better. Like I'm gonna start dieting. I'm gonna eat healthy. We're sitting at the table and we all like, now Ian's on this health kick. So it's literally just me. Like
yeah. You're surrounded.
I'm surrounded by healthy people. My sister runs and like
disgusting.
She's like, I'm so stressed. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm like,
God
okay,
bless,
I'm gonna go to Sonic.
Right.
Like, and have
right. I'm gonna go sit on the couch and binge watch a show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like, I don't know, getting I say I'm not talking about it because clearly like whatever, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And Quinn is like saying something like, you're not gonna do it. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Quinn, you should be do not give health advice to anybody right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you're the last person anyone is taking advice from.
I mean, listen, I've had Dr. Miles on the show before. I treat him like my therapist, like my primary care. And I tell him everything. I just word vomit all over him for the hour that I'm in his office every 2 weeks. And I asked him the last time I was there, I said, I keep getting ads for these grounding mats, these grounding sheets, these grounding mats. What do you think about grounding? And he's like, oh, you mean the sheets? I said, yeah, the only reason I haven't done it yet is because it skeeves me out. Like, I'm afraid like, I'm like plugging in something and sleeping on it. Like I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night on fire. Like there's going to be an electrical fire or something. And he's like, just take your shoes off and go stand in the grass. And I was like, oh no, there's bugs.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, we can't fucking help ourselves.
No.
Like, and he's like, all right, then go stand on the concrete or whatever. I was like, oh, it's hot. Like
I'm not going out there.
And I'm like, for 10 minutes? For 10?
Mosquitoes right
well,
now?
and also I said, I'm like, between my allergy injections and my hypoglycemia, I can't go outside. I can't spend any time in the heat.
Yeah.
Like literally my allergist tells me every week, they're like, okay, we know it's nice outside, but we just dosed you. You can't go outside now. Like no more walks for you. Like
now,
you
why
need to,
is that? Is that just because
they are essentially giving me a concentrated form of what I'm allergic to.
Oh,
so they're like,
God
so
forbid
if you go spend
like...
time outside now, you're double dosing yourself. And you're probably going to have a not great reaction.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of joke with that with people all the time because they're like, "Oh, you saw some more movies." I'm like, "Doctor's orders. I gotta stay indoors.
It's like the ice
gotta
cream.
stay in the
Yeah.
AC."
Can you have
Yeah,
ice
exactly.
cream? I would ask that.
Now I'm like, "Oh no, this is part of my healthcare regimen."
Yes.
But it's it's a shame. I was saying to somebody, I again, you guys, we're going long now and totally aside. But no, not your fault. This happens all the time. I got a stroller for my cats. Because I feel bad that they're indoor. So I would take them on walks with the stroller like once a week when it's nice and I had a couple hours. I haven't been able to do that and it bums me out. I mean, they look outside, they watch. I keep the bird feeders loaded so they have something to look at. But, it's certain things, just like Quinn, like certain things you just have to put on the back burner until you get to a good place. Yeah. So until I have 6 months of these allergy injections and then I start what they call maintenance rounds. So then I only have to, so I go once a week for the injections. And
where do you go? Danbury, you said?
Yeah, I go to Danbury. Yep. I go to advanced specialty.
Okay.
Whatever. So our friend Jen goes there too. But so then after that 6 months, it'll drop down to once a month.
Okay.
So slowly I'll be able to, get back to being outdoorsy. I mean, I live next to a park. I like walking through the park and I've taken the cats there. Don't tell Bill. But
they're in the stroller.
They're in the stroller. It's Bill. It's calm down. They're in the stroller.
We have the peacocks.
They're fine.
They're fine.
Oh, I'll tell you about the peacocks in a minute. But so, again, it's just like you said, it's adjusting. It's a new way of life. And this is,
it's a new normal.
So everybody says the new normal. And you know what? The new normal changes.
Yeah.
Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And you adjust, move on with your life.
Just go with it.
Just go with it.
Just keep going.
Eat the Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Watch your TikToks.
Yeah. Instagram.
Yeah. And don't you go judging other people because you don't know what the fuck they're going through.
Exactly.
With that, my loves, Vicky, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Gang, this was Try Not to Curse. We will catch you next time.